Right now, Social Security has a massive shortfall, and it is going to be depleted by 2033. But according to reports, President Trump has a plan, and his plan actually comes from an entirely different country, not even the United States. Today, I'm going to address what this plan is, how it could impact you, and why this could actually supplement Social Security moving forward. So I'll break all this down in just a moment, but if you are looking for some additional relief and insurance that Social Security will be there when you need it the most, go ahead, hit that like button, and now let's begin. Look at this right here. It says Donald Trump floats new retirement program. Okay. Just so you know, we have many different retirement programs right here in the United States already. Some of which, a lot of people like, some that they don't like. Now, we have Social Security, we have 401ks, we have IRAs, there's pensions, right? There just so many different things. Now, here's what President Trump is proposing. Look at this. It says Trump said he's looking into an Australian-style retirement program for America. Well, how exactly would this work, and what is it called? Well, look at this. It says, President Donald Trump on Tuesday said at the White House that his administration is looking into an Australian-style retirement program. Says, we're looking at it very seriously. It's a good plan. It's worked out very well. Okay, this plan is called superannuation. Okay, now, why is this a potential saving for Social Security? Well, here's what we know. Okay, let me just explain how superannuation works. Now, it says right here, okay, employers are required to fund employees' savings accounts, which are invested in select funds known as super funds. Now, you're probably thinking, well, so employers are required to invest into selected funds. Isn't that the same thing as a 401k? And yes, from the outside looking in, it is. But actually, 401k is optional, whereas this Australian plan is mandatory. Okay, I want to read something to you. It says, employers must contribute the equivalent of 12% of the employee's income into these super funds. It says a gradual increase from 3% when it first established in 1992. Okay, now I want to read some things to you. First off, what are the pros and cons? So the pros of this is that, first off, it's mandatory, meaning every single person is going to have some type of savings. All right? So it is going to be, okay, when I start working, 12% of my income or whatever they decide is going into this. Every single week, 12%, 12%, 12%, 12%. It's going to grow over the course of your lifetime. That's the big news. Okay? Here's the pro. It actually forces employers to contribute. Okay? You don't get an option. You have to contribute. That's another pro. Another pro is it reduces the pressure of Social Security, because right now, Social Security, we can possibly save it, but not without feeling the pain first. There's likely going to be some type of cut, and when I'm talking about cut, I'm talking about a substantial one. Not a 1 or 2% cut. It's likely going to be 12% or 10% or higher. Also, there's likely going to be a reduction, meaning that you are going to see the full retirement age increase. Meaning, over the course of your lifetime, you actually received reduced benefits. So that's a little bit of a problem there. But by using this Australian style retirement program, this could move away from that. It also says it reduces the wealth inequality. Here are some of the cons though, okay? First off, it's going to be very difficult to implement in the very beginning. It's going to take a lot of thought, and it's going to be a structural nightmare to begin with, because in order to implement this, at the same time we have 401ks, we have Social Security, we have IRAs and pensions. This is just adding another major system. Now, I say this as currently, or actually as of today's December 3rd, as of the 1st, okay? And this was announced just the other day, but are the Trump accounts, the $1,000 child Trump accounts, where the Trump administration is going to deposit $1,000 per child for anyone that was born between 2025 and 2028. $1,000. If you do not touch this money, which you can't, but if you don't touch this money and you don't add anything to it for the next 65 years, if it grows at about 10.7% rate, you're going to see over $650,000 from a $1,000 investment. That's pretty good. Okay? So one of the cons is it's going to be difficult to implement. The other one, and this is possibly one of the biggest ones, is the increased cost to employers. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, how can we ensure that we have money to live off of when it's time to retire? Well, you can get more money from your employer. You can take any increase that they give you and put it into retirement. You can invest it and it will grow. You get compound interest, and that's great. But some say the con to this Australian style retirement plan is that it's an increased cost to employers, meaning you could actually see a decrease in pay. But the benefit is, the pro is, you get bigger benefits and a wage package. So in the end, you'll probably get more, but your hourly wage, if that's how you get paid, you might get paid less. Okay? So again, a little bit of a problem here. Now, I want to read you something. I was talking to a friend of mine and asking him about this. Does he feel that this would be a benefit? And he said a couple things. He said business experts say that this is going to only raise costs for businesses, and doing so, while these businesses are also battling tariffs, could put many of these companies out of business. Now, I don't think this is going to happen. If the Trump administration goes forward with this, I don't think it happens immediately. This is something that would be very slow to implement because there's a lot of moving parts here. The other one, another con is the transition. It says younger workers might love this idea because this ensures that their employer is the one that's putting the money in, not the employee. But essentially, the employer is going to get it out of you. But older workers that are close to retirement would not benefit enough from this new system to justify resetting everything, meaning there's likely going to be this cutoff. Okay? According to one article I was reading, they're saying the most likely option to see this through is people that are over the age of 35, okay, or even 40 years old. They would see the current system, but everyone younger would move to the new system. Here's the problem, and this is a massive problem. How do you run two different systems? Because what's happening is, especially right now, is we are paying into Social Security to ensure that those that are collecting Social Security benefits continue to receive those benefits. If we were not paying into the system, the money wouldn't be there to pay those millions of beneficiaries. And that's a huge concern. So the other con is risk of government mismanagement. So super funds in Australia, those are private. It's not a government-run fund. That's what this would be. Okay? The United States government would likely control it. And many people would probably be scared that the government would mismanage the funds or be influenced by these funds, that they could actually take them and use them on other things. Okay? Again, big concern. Now, here's the last thing I want to leave you with. I don't know if this, I don't know if this super fund is something that the Trump administration is looking at going 100% towards. Okay? But he's brought this up several times. It's been brought up before as well because in Australia, they're doing very well. Okay? They have a very small population compared to the United States. But they're able to, this fund is like $3 trillion. Remember what Many Republicans were saying, I believe like 1 or 2 years ago, to put like $1 trillion into an investment, because over the course of X amount of years, that would grow substantially. Okay? So just to give you an idea, if you put $1,000 into a retirement fund, okay, and it grows at 10.7%, at 65, you have like over $650,000. Okay? $650,000. That's a massive, massive number. Just think if you put $1 trillion in an account, didn't touch it. He didn't add anything to it, didn't touch it for 65 years. Just think how much that would grow. That would be substantial. Now, here's the last thing I want to leave you with. There has been talk, and again, when I say talk, this is very new. This is not something lawmakers are jumping on. Is can we have enough in tariff revenue that we can put, let's say, $100 or $250 billion? Again, I'm throwing out these numbers, but they're talking about, can we get enough in tariff revenue that we can take that money, 100% of it, and we can put that towards Social Security? Can we ensure that millions of people are going to receive their benefits over the next several years? And the answer is yes. But again, who manages the money? Okay, what's it going to be invested into? And again, who's going to have the say as to where it goes? That's the big question. So right now, everybody right now has their hands in the cookie jar, trying to figure out how much money we have and where could that money be best used for our constituents. Not for the American people in general, but for our constituents in Washington State, the constituents in Florida, the constituents in New York and California and Texas and North Dakota. That's what everybody's asking. How can we do this for our constituents so that they can vote for us? Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, that's what we know. President Trump's floating this new retirement program, but how far does this go? And is this something that maybe they take the entire program or pieces of it and implement it with Social Security, 401ks, IRAs, and pensions? Well, we'll find out later on, but as soon as we get more information on this, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get it. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.